all my new South Empire, wonderful and fantastic fun and Starman Films Global Family of Winners. It's your winner, Fitzhugh Sergio Fevers Huff. Man, we have so many hot topics tonight. I want to introduce our panelists, analysts, strategists, researchers, philanthropists, and activists,
I cannot
and fact
hear
checkers.
nobody.
Oh, wow. Anyway, whoever,
Could y'all still hear me?
we can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
All right. We got Navia Rose, who's an author and an actress. And we also have CJ, who is a supermodel and super actress also. And then we got Marlo, the one that bothers you at the airport. Nah, I'm just playing. That's Marlo Gibson. She will take care of all your transportation needs at the airport. Ain't that right, Marlo? And of course, we got that doctor, attorney, Samuel Blue. That's it. That's right. We can get into it right now. But I'm gonna show you guys a disclaimer to protect the our show. All right. Alrighty then. I don't think it took that long to read it. I think everybody got it. I want to thank our first sponsor, which happens to be myself, Doja Vineyard Fitz Paradise Juice, fruit punch flavored moonshine. And you can order it at dojavineyard.com. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Like I said, guys, y'all can get my very own brand of fruit punch flavored moonshine at dojavineyard.com. And that's for put in the promo code FPJ for Fitz Paradise Juice. All right. Now I wanna say, who we gonna go with first? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I guess that's you, Marlo. All right. Marlo, what you want to talk about today?
I wanted to talk about domicile here in the U.S. And how it's defined, and it was a debate, which I sent a video as well on it with Supreme Justice Katie Jackson, with our solicitor director from the U.S., which is Sawyer, how they both were going back and forth recently in a court case, trying to define what domiciliation meant in the U.S. Did it mean that we are actually going towards the old English law, which is the 14th Amendment, that how citizenship is defined, or are we really going to with human nature? And so Supreme Justice Jackson was stating that how can we test or decide who is going to be a citizen if they were born here in the U.S., whether the family was a citizen or not? When the child is born on U.S. soil, are they still considered a citizen because we provide them with a social security number? Or are we going back to the old English law, which the U.S. representative was stating, Sawyer, that is all about if they have the intent of staying here in the U.S., what is their intentions? And she quizzed him back and forth, and he pussyfoot around, stating that just kept going back to the 14th Amendment law, but not really explaining or defining if a person has been here for generations and they have a child, are they considered a citizen or not? And is their intent or presence here in the U.S. really intentional, and do they plan on being a part and showing allegiance to the U.S.? And how are we defining that, and how are we testing it? And it was kind of like a battle of wits between them, but she was more on the natural side of humanity and how we currently cooperate here in the U.S. And he was going back again to the English law, and it just wasn't making sense to her or to other people, because we decide who and where and what we're going to allow to stay as a citizen. And I think it all boils down to the Mexican and Somalian citizenships that they are denying across the U.S. Even though these kids were born here, now they want to know how many generations do we go back, and are they stating when these kids are born in a hospital, should we socialize them and give them a citizenship or not?
Okay, well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to run that little brief clip that you sent us from Supreme Court Justice Katana.
I guess I am looking at your position in this case, and it boils down to requiring us to do at least these two things. One is believe that the framers were not importing the common law rule and understanding of birthright citizenship. And the second is to believe that what they were doing was departing from that common law rule in the way that you suggest. That is, they were seeking to have this turn on domicile. I think you have a number of hurdles to accomplish those two things. One of which, I think, is that when we look at this court's case law, and no one, I think, has mentioned Schooner's Exchange, but it appears that that was an 1812 case in which it seems as though the court had already accepted at the time of the ratification of the 14th Amendment that the allegiance that you were talking about was the English common law rule. That, in other words, allegiance meant that you are covered by the laws of the jurisdiction, that you can rely on that jurisdiction's protection. That's what allegiance meant. Now, you're saying today, no, allegiance meant something about loyalty or that kind of idea. But if the Supreme Court had, prior to the 14th Amendment, established that allegiance meant the common law definition, I think your first hurdle is to help us understand why we would believe that when the 14th Amendment was ratified, the framers weren't just incorporating what we had previously said it meant.
Page 572 of the congressional record directly addresses this. They say the concept of temporary and local allegiance from the Schooner Exchange is what is meant by, or temporary and local jurisdiction from the Schooner Exchange is what is meant by the word jurisdiction in the 14th Amendment. Senator Trumbull says, I thought about saying owing allegiance, but again, quote, there's a sort of allegiance from persons temporarily resident in the United States whom we have no right to make citizens. So he expressly and consciously rejected reliance on
what do we do with, I mean, that's a debate, and it's a discussion, very valid, but then we have a subsequent debate between Fessenden and Wade where the same concept comes up, and it becomes clear, at least from Senator Wade's perspective, that that's wrong. So Fessenden, and I'm not sure whether these are senators, I apologize. Fessenden says, suppose a person is born here of parents from abroad temporarily in this country. Wade responds, the senator says a person may be born here and not be a citizen. I know that is so in one instance, in the case of the children of foreign ministers who reside near the United States, et cetera, et cetera. So it appears as though in that exchange, at least Senator Wade believed that the English common law understanding of what it means to have allegiance, to be a temporary person on the soil, was what was being adopted.
Yeah, that exchange strongly supports us. If you look at it in context, Senator Wade has introduced a version that says only birth on U.S. soil and doesn't have any allegiance or jurisdictional element to it. And so Senator Fessenden stands up and says, well, that can't be right because, obviously, what about the children of temporary visitors? It has this, it's another one of these statements that has this appeal to a background understanding that we all agree that the temporary visitors, their children do not become citizens. And then Senator Wade has to kind of backtrack and say, well, what are the children of ambassadors? And in the end, Congress does not adopt Senator Wade's proposal. So we think that to the extent you can draw an inference from that, the inference strongly supports it.
All right. Well, let me just ask you about why we wouldn't see in the 14th Amendment anything about parental allegiance. Several of my colleagues have talked about the fact that your view of this turns on what the status of the parents are, and not the child, as would the born in the United States view of it. Can you help us understand why we wouldn't expect to see a mention of parents in the text of this amendment?
I think it was well understood that, for example, children cannot, newborns cannot form domicile. So it follows every 19th century.
That assumes domicile is in the test. And I'm asking you, how do we know that Congress did adopt the test that you say it adopted?
When you're looking at 19th century conceptions of allegiance, the notion that the allegiance, again, we say domicile is instantiating the concept of allegiance for aliens as opposed to citizen. All of that, the 19th century understands the newborn's domicile, its allegiance follows the allegiance of the parents. And I point out that their theory relies on parental allegiance as well, because they recognize the exceptions for, hostile invading armies, for tribal Indians, for ambassadors. Again, the child's allegiance status, even on their view, turns on the status of the parent.
What do we do with Professor Mueller's amicus brief and the historical record and the fact that even at times in this country where we understood that the parents were declared enemies of the United States, I'm talking about World War II and Japanese internment, babies born in that circumstance were given birthright citizenship. So it seems as though this concept of allegiance of the parents really wasn't driving birthright citizenship, at least at this period of our history. So are you saying this is wrong, or they shouldn't have gotten birthright citizenship?
Well, if they were domiciled here, yes, they should have. If they were temporarily present, then no. But the executive practice we can see from the 1930s.
How does the temporary presence run with your concept of allegiance? I'm not sure I understand. So can you be clear? Are you saying that only people who are domiciled here, as you define it, can form the necessary loyalty to the United States?
It's not allegiance is not a question of subjective loyalty.
Okay.
It is something you owe. It's a reciprocal relationship between the citizen, whether they want it or not. They have that allegiance, and I think it's powerfully
on the basis of what?
Domicile. I mean, that's what it says in so many words in the Venus and the Pizarro. It says, look, if you're talking about an alien, if they're just temporarily passing through, no, they don't have allegiance. But if they've made it their permanent home, they become part of our political community, and they are analogous or akin to citizens.
All right, just quickly, because I'm mindful of the time. What do you do with Juan Kim Ark's statement that birthright citizenship is applying, quote, independently of a residence with intention to continue such residence, independently of any domiciliation? I know that they use domicile. It's a fact in the case, but that's not a part of their holding. It's not what the reasoning turns on. Correct?
I believe you're quoting from page 693 of that opinion. It goes on to say, not citizen terms on that, but the duty of obedience to our laws. It doesn't take the further step at that point and say, therefore, if you have temporary and local allegiance, you're a citizen. And immediately before that, you have that page 693 summary of the court's holding where it says domicile.
Juan Kim Ark incorporates a domicile requirement.
That is the holding. It's definitely clearly expressed in the holding.
All right, one final thing, perspective. You say perspective, we're supposed to do this. Don't worry about the people who are already here and who would not qualify under your rule. How does this work? Are you suggesting that when a baby is born, people have to have documents, present documents? Is this happening in the delivery room? How are we determining when or whether a newborn child is a citizen of the United States under your rule?
And I think that's directly addressed in the SSA guidance that's cited in our brief. What SSA says is there's currently a system where, for example, Social Security numbers are generated based on the birth certificate. They say this can still be, for the vast majority of instances, completely transparent. You will still get a...
No, not transparent. I'm just talking about the particulars, because now you say your rule turns on whether the person intended to stay in the United States. And I think Justice Barrett brought this up. So we bringing pregnant women in for depositions. What are we doing to figure this out?
No, as I pointed out earlier, the executive order turns on lawfulness of status. So if you give birth to a baby in the hospital right now, it gets the birth certificate in the system. There's a computer system.
So there's no opportunity. There's apparently no opportunity then for the person to prove or to say that they actually intended to stay in the United States.
Absolutely not. The opposite is true. Their opportunity to dispute if they think they were wrongly denied, which would only happen in a tiny minority of cases,
After the
is
fact.
directly addressed in that guidance.
After the fact,
Yes.
after their baby has been denied citizenship, then we can go through the process.
And the way that, I mean, I'm summarizing because I'm not an expert in
Yes.
computers, but there's a computer program that currently automatically generates a social security number. SSA says, look, a social security number, non-citizens can have them if they have work authorization, so it doesn't prove citizenship. We'll give you a social security number, provided that the system automatically checks the immigration status of the parents, which there are robust databases for, and then it appears no different to the vast majority of birthing parents.
Thank you.
All right. This is they're very interesting. Great topic too, Marlo, by the way.
Thanks.
I wanna say it's really a simple common sense fix. If the parent, this is my opinion, in my view, if the parent is not, both parents are not illegal citizens, then the child shouldn't be a legal citizen. They shouldn't be issued a social security number. If the parents are pending, strictly my opinion, if the parents are pending citizenship, then the child's citizenship should be pending. And if you say that you have an intent to stay in the United States, doesn't mean you're going to stay in the United States. So, I mean, you know, that's my opinion. What's your opinion on it, Navia, on should a child be granted citizenship just because they're born in the United States, even if their parents aren't legal citizens?
I mean, my opinion is that if they born in the United States, they is a U.S. citizen, and especially if they give them a social security number. If they give them a social security number, like you saying pending and all that, they didn't put pending and they gave them a social security number, they is a U.S. citizen. They are a U.S. citizen. So I feel like if the child was born here and they give them a U.S. and they give them a social security number, they should be considered as a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, if they make a mistake and give that child social security number, the mud's on their face. But like I said, though, help make it make sense. How can the child be a legal citizen if the parents aren't? You know, I don't understand that. But anyway, something keeps popping up on my screen. Do you think anyone being in the United States should be?
Are you doing a poll?
And that's they're doing a poll. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, CJ, what's your opinion on that?
I do think I agree with Nevaeh. Like if they're issued a social security, like they are a citizen. I also feel though that if the parents are illegal, if the kid is going to automatically be granted that, then they need to go through the process of being legalized. Like that, you know, for me, what I feel would be like common sense, because why risk you being illegal or what they would consider an illegal alien and your kid is a U.S. citizen? They would at least need to go like through that process and have it completed within a certain time frame.
And then too, you know what? Even if they say they deport both parents, the child got to go with them. So that Social Security don't mean nothing. That U.S. citizenship don't mean nothing because the child got to go with them. I'm gonna go with Sam, and then we're gonna let you finish.
Sam one.
Yeah, Sam, go ahead, and then you, Marlo.
Okay, first, I think I just want to play something just as a rebuttal, and it's in reference to something called birth tourism.
Birth tourism, the act of traveling to another country in order to. Birth tourism, the act of traveling to another country in order to have a baby on foreign soil so that your baby is automatically a citizen of the nation where it was born. It's a thing, and this thing is big business. The practice of birth tourism is especially germane right now as the Supreme Court deliberates the Trump administration's quest to limit birthright citizenship. That's the right enshrined in the 14th Amendment that automatically grants U.S. citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil. SCOTUS battle aside, birth tourism is seen as an abuse of that particular right. And here's what I mean. There is a company in Florida literally called Have My Baby in Miami. Not even trying subtle here. It's a concierge service, read expensive, that claims on its website to have helped 2,000 international births. Have My Baby in Miami says that they usher prospective parents through the documentation process from soup to nuts, writing, quote, "The dream of having your child in a country with one of the best medical systems in the world is much more real than you think." Now, President Trump earlier this week slammed China for exploiting birthright citizenship laws in a Truth Social post. The president wrote, quote, "Birthright citizenship is not about rich people from China and the rest of the world who want their children and hundreds of thousands more for pay to ridiculously become citizens of the United States of America." Now, to be clear, birth tourism and birthright citizenship are not one and the same, nor do most people see them as such. A recent Fox News poll found that 69% of voters support birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to illegal immigrants, a number that's risen significantly in the last 20 years. Now, the Supreme Court is expected to rule on the administration's efforts to end birthright citizenship in June. For more stories like this, like and subscribe to the New York Postcast right here on YouTube.
Thank you, Sam.
Birth tourism, the act of traveling to another country and
Now, I'll say one more thing. Right now, there's a billionaire that lives in China. He basically went through a reproduction IVF, and he literally has over 100,000 kids that were born in the U.S. Soon as they were born, they relocated to China after they received their social security numbers, after they received Medicaid, all those benefits, bank accounts were set up, and now over 100,000 are living back in China, never setting foot, but they're U.S. citizens. So when they turn 62 or 67, whatever the age, they're going to start getting Social Security when they haven't even been in the U.S. since they were less than 1 year old.
Wow.
That's the issue. So here's another clip. Just as recently, they found out that there was a hotel, a maternity hotel in California where 80,000 babies had used the same address, and they're all citizens, and they're all from China. So this is the story with that. This was just 6 charge.
Birth tourism scheme. It's aimed at helping Turkish women secure U.S. citizenship for their babies. And according to federal prosecutors, it's costing American taxpayers more than $2 million. NBC News senior investigative producer Anna Schechter joins us now. Anna, good to see you. So first of all, more about the alleged scheme and how prosecutors say they pulled it off.
Well, this has been going on for about 3 years. There was a ring of 6 people. We had somebody in Turkey helping with marketing to Turkish women and their families. They were running Facebook pages, websites with "Your baby should be born in America." And this isn't anything new. I've been tracking this for about 15 years, actually, and we've known about birth tourism as sort of an industry for about 20 years, and Turkish women have been coming. But why this is so interesting is we were actually bilking Medicaid. So we had a couple people in the ring who were trained to help people sign up for Medicaid. And they were lying on those applications saying that these women actually were New York residents who were destitute, who had no money. And so that would pave the way for all their health care being covered. And the amount is staggering, $2.1 million at least, that prosecutors could track. So that's what's really interesting about this case. I've never seen that before in all the years that I've been covering this, where taxpayer dollars are coming into this. Usually it's wealthy women who are shelling out up to $50,000 or $100,000 US dollars to come here, give birth.
Wow, that's crazy, man. And then I just can't see how anybody could be upset with Yeah, I see that. It says China. That the first one said Turkey, but this one says China. Okay. But okay, Marlo, um, I know this is your topic, and
Yeah.
I
I
I
will. I
I
will
just
like
got
to
to
say,
do you agree? Do you think that they should be citizens automatically just because they're born here, even if their parents are illegal?
well, yes, it's a quasi type of response because again, even in their debate with the domicile to the U.S., which is the Supreme Justice Jackson and Solicitor Sawyer, both were on the same accord when they stated that if they're passing through tourism, that doesn't mean that gives them a birthright. But if someone has the intent of staying here in the
I
US
cannot
and
hear it.
building in the US, then yes, they should get citizenship. But we're not talking about tourism. And I did pull up in reference to this Chinese billionaire. If you're talking about Zhao Bo, founder of Doi Network, he did have, because of the legalities of China, because you know they only allowed to have a certain amount of children. So he had these kids through surrogacy, which they don't allow in China, but that is for them to become heirs of his business. He's making sure he had heirs, not to get on Social Security. This particular billionaire, if you're talking about the one that owns the network, is not about them coming back after 62 and getting on our Social Security. This guy is trying to build heirs and have multi-generational wealth from the US to China. And he's also wanting them to be elite. So if they're not marrying someone elite or doing the right thing in the US, then he's having them transported back to China. But that's the what I got from this particular billionaire. So I'm not for sure which billionaire Sam was referring to that is father and children to be on Social Security. This guy with father and children so they could become heirs of his business.
Okay, Julian was over in South America. He said, so what about all those soldiers that had kids in other countries serving? Are their kids considered Americans, or the kids, or are they from that country?
Well, I can speak on one, which is my cousin. She is my second cousin. While my cousin was over in Germany in the military, she was born in Germany, but she was born on a U.S. base. She's still a U.S. citizen, even though she was born in Germany. Her birth certificate, is still going to show that she was born in Germany, but she is a U.S. citizen, and she would have to file for dual citizenship in Germany because she was born there. She would have to file. It's not automatic.
Simone says, to your knowledge, Sam, can American billionaires do the same in China?
Probably not.
No, they can't, because they're trying to limit. They try to limit certain population growth.
Mm-hmm.
But from the point that Marlo was making earlier, the thing is the game, the system. The person, when you get a Social Security number, you automatically will be enrolled. So you literally don't have to step foot back inside the US. As long as you have a bank account set up, when you turn that age to where you begin receiving Social Security, that Social Security just goes to an account and just sits there. You don't have to sit there and apply for Social Security. It's automatic now.
But
so go ahead.
You, in order to go have a Social Security bank or payout, you have to have worked in the U.S. They don't.
No, you don't. You just have to have a Social Security card. Once you're issued a Social Security number, that right there qualifies you for Medicare, Medicaid, any social services in the U.S. A Social Security number qualifies you for that. That's the reason why when people are applying for a green card, they're not supposed to get a Social Security number. They get an ITIN, an International Tax Identification Number, that is used in place of a Social Security card. That's the reason why if they have work authorization, the W-9, when they seek employment, it'll have an ITIN in place of the Social Security number. That's
I mean, you know, all of this is crazy, and it's just so simple. It's just so simple. It's just really simple. If how can the child be legal if the parents are illegal? You know, help that makes sense. I think the government should not give that child a Social Security card.
I agree with Randy
Right.
Coulomb that said health care, not income, because if they're not working, they're not paying in to Social Security. That's only if, once again, if you're married and that person, you're collecting like 50%, like a joint annuitant, same like with retirement. But if you're not working, you have not put into Social Security, you're not going to get a check. Now you could go apply for welfare probably and get
you'll get a check,
welfare, but you're not going to get Social Security unless you was married
you get
to
it.
someone. I don't know how. Let's
I know a person who has never worked.
Yeah,
where they pay taxes. Matter of fact, I know a handful of people. They get a check. They only get like $1,200 a month, but they get a check and they have never worked.
Something
never.
going on then.
As long as you have a Social Security number, but then we have to look at what happened from 2020 to 2024 to when these people came into the U.S. in FY 2021.
It's crazy.
These are non-citizen Social Security numbers that were issued
COVID.
because the administration in 2021 had changed the rules that if you got a work permit, instead of getting the ITIN, you was issued a Social Security number. And then in FY, you see that number continuously grows. But then when you look at FY 2024, it goes up 2 million. Because
2 million.
and those 2 million Social Security issuances happened in November and December. Guess what happened in November? The election. Soon as they found out that that Trump won, Kamala wasn't going to continue the same policies. Before Trump was sworn in, they issued all these Social Security numbers. That's the reason why the number had grown so much in that time. I mean, you're talking about 2 million.
Yeah, that's
So
2
the
million.
thing is, you're doing that because and the thing with birthright citizenship, it's one of those things that when I hear Black folks talk about we need reparations, the thing is,
They get reparations.
they're not going to give reparations. They're not going to give reparations as a check because they're giving reparations. You have Democratic senators and congresspeople trying to get reparations for illegals for what they've gone through coming across the border. So the thing is like Black folks as a community are allowing other races, other white folks, Indians, all that to basically bum rush, convince us to join their cause. And when their cause, they make it, they leave us behind.
Of course.
So that's the issue that I have. So if you were not born in the US, that's one thing. But when your parent is military, that's something different. Because when you are at that hospital overseas at that military base, guess what? You receive all those military benefits. You're born in the military hospital, or there's a ally agreement under NATO that allows you to do that for any U.S. service member. So yeah, they're going to be taken care of, and they're classified as a citizen because you have over 300,000 South Koreans that have a parent that's that was in the military that got their mother pregnant when they were stationed over in Korea.
Yeah.
So I just think we have to look, when we look at the arguments, like I listened to all 3 hours.
Hey, engineer, can you pull the screen back up, the full screen?
What screen?
The full screen, so we can see everybody. You still got it. You still got it. Okay, there we go. Okay, Navia, did you cut it on airplane mode? Can you hear us?
I can hear y'all now. Could y'all hear me?
We can hear you real good.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we kind of covered that, and we got the cons on it. I don't know I didn't see any pros to it, to be honest. All I see is the robbing from my daughter and anybody else's grandchildren, and stealing. It's criminal. A crime is a crime.
But we still not getting nothing anyway, so it still
Right.
doesn't matter.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, but you can get more. You can get more. And
How?
I don't know.
LD.
I don't know why you're not getting it, because I know so many people that's getting it. Simone says, is it fair to allow non-citizens to reap the benefits of American citizens? We covered that, Simone. Yes. No, it's definitely not right. Anybody think that non-citizens should get the same benefits as a citizen?
Yeah, I agree with Kevin Carter, which that's what I was stating with Social Security versus SSI, which is disability, I would say. So that's disability that those other people get, but not, you have to pay into Social Security.
No, I'm not talking about SSDI.
No, just SSI. Because that's what DI is in New Jersey. It's only in a few states.
I mean, SSI is still insurance.
Yeah, but
it's Social Security insurance. But you get, when you're an American citizen, you are allocated, because SSI is for someone that has some form of injury, some form of disability. We did a podcast on it last year. And it's basically, you have people that don't even have a Social Security number, don't even have an ITIN, and they're getting Social Security. They're getting SSDI.
Yeah, they're using dead people.
No, they're not even using dead people. It was changed in the last administration. When you if you type in, can a legal alien receive Social Security? Google it. One of the first links that will pop up is a Social Security Administration's webpage, and it will show you the 7 bullets that the last administration changed to allow illegal aliens to get Social Security.
Straight criminals.
It's
Social Security.
Yeah, but it's a supplemental Social Security.
It don't matter. They shouldn't get anything.
They shouldn't get anything.
Social Security, because you're saying if they're born here and they're trying to do a coup or fraud,
it don't matter if it's SSI. It don't matter if it's SSI, SSDI, or STD.
But they're putting in probably they're disabled or something.
Right.
It don't matter. They didn't put into it.
They didn't put into it. They shouldn't get it. All right, moving right along. We got Navia's topic.
Already on there.
Yep. Navia's topic is femininity and dating. Do you want us to show your clip first, or you want to explain why you picked that topic?
I mean, you can show it first. That's fine.
Okay.
Saw a video that said female logic is they'd rather pay 100% of their bills than go 50-50.
That's because the only thing that would actually be 50-50 are the rent and the bills. Everything else is likely going to be labor, extra labor for that woman. Is the cooking going to be 50-50? What about the housework? What about the cleaning? What about the laundry? Or is that woman's work? Because if it is woman's work, then that's the reason why women would rather not do it. And in that house that 50% of the bills are being paid by that woman and 50% of the rent is being paid by that woman, are you still expecting to be the man of the house? The house that you're both paying for? Also, how is your aim? Do you lift the toilet seat up, or do you just go straight at it and hope for the best? Are you tidy, or do you leave your underwear and whatnot on the floor? Do you clean up after yourself? Let's say I cook dinner. Are you willing to do the dishes, or again, is that woman's work? Housework, cleaning and cooking aside, how is your personality? Let's say like we have an argument. Are you able to express yourself without, I don't know, slamming doors, breaking dishes, raising your voice, getting angry? Like, are you going to be scary? Is it going to be terrifying living with you? Are there going to be like eggshells to walk on? Or are you going to freeze her out, silent treatment for hours, maybe even days? Are you a good communicator? Can you communicate your feelings? What didn't work for you, what did work for you? And are you able to listen? Are you able to listen to her gripes, her feelings, without feeling that she's criticizing you and that your masculinity is being attacked? Because what a lot of men don't understand is that it's the mature men, the men who are going to be the ones to continue on in the bloodline. Apart from that, like, what is your drive like? Is she going to be expected to be available any time of the day or night without making you feel rejected? Or is your drive so low that she doesn't feel like she is wanted? How are you with your friends? Do they come over a lot? Are they like always in the house? And how about your habits? How do you spend your time? Do you read a book? Do you play video games until God knows what time in the morning? And your phone, I mean, is it going to be unlocked? Are we going to have each other's passwords? Are you faithful? Or are you going to be stressing her out? And with regard to, with that, I mean, are you friends with exes? Friends, loads of girlfriends? Are you going to be planning on coming home at all times of night in the morning? Like, all times of night or like early in the morning? Are you somebody who comes home after work? Or are you somebody who goes out for drinks? Or, God knows, I just kind of roll with the punches and I'll like let you know. Like, is your communication good? If you do decide that you're like going to the club, am I going to get a message, or am I going to be like wondering about what you're doing? And like outside of that, okay, outside of the labor of the house and who puts out the trash and the cooking and the cleaning and the potential cleanliness, how is your personal cleanliness? Are you going to be funking up the house with your stench, or do you shower every single day and like more than once? Like, is the body odor tolerable? And when it comes to the food shopping, do we food shop together? And as you'll likely eat way more food than me, is that like, are we splitting that down the line? And if you do eat my food, am I going to be food shamed for it? Like, oh, well, I didn't think you'd eat all of that, so I ate it. I mean, should you really be eating that much? Are we still like gonna date? Are you a generous man? Like, are you still going to go out of your way to impress me? Or are our dates now going to be Netflix and chill at home because like we now live together? Are you still going to be buying gifts? And is there still going to be, sweeping me off my feet? I mean, are there going to be like flowers and stuff? Or is it just going to be like a whole lot of extra labor, but all of like the magical stuff like totally ends? And to put on top of that, like, are you like thinking about marriage? Or is marriage just like totally not in your plans for like the foreseeable future? Yet all of the labor of the house and the emotional, being your like therapist type vibe. And don't get me wrong, like women will be whining too. Like the men will be labored in that respect. But like without the ring. And if like she brings up that all of the stuff is making her feel really, really stressed out, and then you say, you know what, I think you're like putting on a bit of weight, because men don't understand that when women put on weight when they're with you, it's because they're carrying the extra load. Carrying the extra load. And that's why when women leave their boyfriends or their husbands, they snap back like this, because they don't have to deal with all that extra stuff. They don't have to worry about you cheating, or what time you're going to come home, or like all the clothes on the floor, or the fact that she just slipped in the toilet on your pee. There's a lot to consider. So when I say that only the strong will survive, I mean the men who have been to therapy, the men who are clean and hygienic and understand that it's not like specifically women's work to be a part of the household. And if they do, they're paying for that. You know, they're not going 50-50. Okay, because the woman is already doing 100% by herself, and 0% of the extra labor, 0% of the worrying, 0% of the extra housework, 0% of the who ate all the food in the fridge, 0% of the frustration, 0% of the is he okay? I wonder if is he, you know, like 0%. So when you actually factor all that in, to pay 100% of the rent is a bargain. Healed men only. Men who can converse only. Men who can regulate their emotions and their feelings only. Men who get provision and protection and don't see it as some form of oppression only. So yeah, that's why. Don't be a slow learner.
Okay, Nabea. Nabea. Pull Nabea up to full screen, Sam, please. Nabea, I'm gonna ask you, what made you pick that topic, and what are your thoughts briefly, because I got to give everybody else a chance too.
Okay, well, basically, I was in a relationship for 14 years, married for 7. And I feel like if a man want a woman to be submissive, there shouldn't not be no 50-50. Because if you want me to be submissive and be the woman that you want me to be, why would I be paying half? And that's the case, I can do it all by myself. So that was the real reason why I chose that, because through experience, I'm feeling like I could have did all of that by myself instead of going through all of the agony, the drama, and all of that stuff like that. So that was the real reason why I chose that.
Okay. Now, I want to say this. Sam, I want to see everybody's face when I say this, please. I say, freak that 50-50. I don't want half or nothing. You bring 100, and I'm going to bring 100. Now, what I do agree with this young lady is that if I'm working and my significant other, by the way, significant other stands for sign if you can. Okay. All right. And my other significant other, that's right, sign if you can't. All right. It take that much, Marlo? All right. That's what significant other is. Okay. All right. If both of y'all are working, both of y'all should split the household duties too. I mean, me personally, I don't mind cooking. I love cooking. I do dishes. I do clothes. I do laundry. Matter of fact, something wrong with me because I like doing household stuff. I like to do everything except iron. I'm not ironing. I don't care what it is. It's going to Brothers Cleaners. All right. Straight like that. But this part. But then you said that. Help me understand and understand this, Navia. You said that you rather do it on your own versus 50-50 if you got to hear. And she also said communication is the key, which is not true. Comprehension of the communication is the key. You can communicate if you can communicate all you want to, if the other party don't comprehend, you just pissing in the wind. All right. So how could it be better for a woman if the man is meeting halfway and the woman is meeting halfway? Wouldn't that take some of the stress off of you financially? But you said you rather do it yourself. What was your reason for wanting to do it yourself?
The reason why I would rather do it for myself, because to me, I feel like a mental thing. Like I went through a mental thing with my ex-husband. So it's like, I thought that mentally was kind of worse than physical to me. Like if you sitting up here and you mentally abusing me, that's crazy, because it's making me have like some type of, insecurity for no reason, which I know who I am, but I'm losing that through you. And it's just like, it's a lot of stress. And I feel like, to me, to eliminate the stress, to me, I'd rather pay all of my bills and do everything. Yes, I wouldn't mind nobody helping me and all of that stuff like that. But if I have to go through all of that extra stress,
Right.
I
Okay.
would
Yeah.
rather do it by myself.
Yeah, so, hey, Kevin Carter, I agree with you 100%. He said, in a successful marriage, there is no 50-50.
Right.
The two people become one, so it's 100, period. Okay, now I do want to say that I didn't agree with that young lady talking about, that might be you stressing her out so much, that's why she might be going in the refrigerator and gaining weight. Bullshit, she going in the refrigerator gaining weight because her ass hungry. And that's what it is. And she just overdoing it. Ain't nobody gonna make nobody do nothing. That's some bullshit. That's some scapegoat shit. All right. And then she said that some women get out of a relationship and
Snap back.
and snap back. No, but shit, you was never there. You was never there. I mean, I seen some go to worse. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to listen to what she said. She said women, though. So it's like women, because to me, some people do better without the person that they was with. So that's what that's what I got out of it. I got out of it like, okay, you in this relationship and this man then brought you down, and then you get out of that relationship and you then snap back to the person that you were or better. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I got out of it. I didn't. Everybody had their own perspective.
But some got worse. Let's keep it real. Some get worse. Okay, CJ. 50-50, 100-100. Do your husband got what if he leave the toilet seat up? What you gonna do?
Slap him.
I mean, we're I guess 100. Want to call it that? Like, it's no. We understand what the traditional role is, but we understand what's currently happening. Like, we understand that the man can't go to work, be the financial, be the breadwinner, while the wife is sitting at home cooking and clean. Like, no, that's super unrealistic. So it is kind of like we both pay the bills. Like, we both are responsible for the household. Everybody in here is responsible for the household. So it's like we don't do that. Now, I mean, reckon it is some just things that guys do that irritate our soul. Like, leave the toilet seat up,
Yeah, but that ain't gonna make you go in the refrigerator and get a sandwich.
I mean, no, it's not. I think that beyond that, see, you look at it from a surface level. When you're stressed, that's where the stress eating is coming from. Like, when you're in a unhealthy relationship where you're unable to communicate or express yourself because your person always thinking you're nagging, and it's a bunch of back and forth, people usually result in comfort food. So yeah, they're gonna overeat, But I mean, to me, I just think it's a little more than that. If, like, I know some women don't have an issue with being the breadwinner. They go to work, but they also have a partner at home that's alleviating, which is carrying that other 50 or that other 100, that stress. So I wouldn't want to be stuck, in a marriage where not only are you sitting here and you tripping about if I'm paying 50% of the bills, but you also wanted me to take care of 100% of the household while you put in nothing else. That would drive anybody crazy. Like, so my household run different. I usually try to avoid the 50-50 conversation, but we do what works best for us, and each other out. Like, it doesn't make sense for one person to be more stressed out than the other because you want to stand on traditional ruling, and it's just not going to work in this day and age. Like, it's not. You have a real partner. Now, reckon, and I'm not going to be long-winded, he is a very traditional guy. He wants to be the one that go to work and I stay home, and I get that, but you have to understand, like, I'm a help. Like, I can't. In this economy, one person working and being the breadwinner, anything can happen. And COVID has showed that. I've seen people that was making 6+ figures that crashed and didn't have nothing. You had people that was working in fast food restaurants or call centers that wasn't impacted by COVID at all and was getting money. Like, so, I mean, it varies, but that's my point of view.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think this is something that needs to be discussed at early stages of your dating or you getting to know somebody, because I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna draw a contract for real. It's getting ridiculous out here, you know. Now, me and my daughter's mother, we're not together, but still, you know, she's a nurse practitioner, and I know she got a lot on her plate. So even though I'm not in that relationship, I'm man enough to know that she needs her break, and you know, and what it is, you know. And plus, I enjoy my daughter, so I get her 4 days out of the week. She works during the week. I work on the weekend, so it works out perfectly. So even much so, it should be that much better even in a marriage, you know. Anyway, Simone said, I still believe in the traditional role. There are times when those roles are traded for various reasons. That's between the husband and wife. I prefer the man to be a provider and I be the helpmate. Okay.
I mean, if I may say, like, a lot of people say that, but you're not understanding when it comes to your marriage, your relationship, what that look like. So if it comes to a time frame where your husband loses his job, if you've been a helpmate, as you holding that household down, and you want to get a job full time, and you know you holding down POP, you gonna have to do that, Bookie. Like, so it all different. And everybody's situation is different. So it really be killing me when people try to set these standards or have an idea on how things are and don't realize that your ideology may be the reason or maybe what's causing issues in your marriage. Because you think that this man's supposed to be stressed out going to work after he done lost his job. Now he's trying to figure out how he can pick up the pace when you got a skill set, whereas you can go to work too until he get back on his feet, whereas y'all not skipping the beat, not behind on bills, no nothing. Like, I don't know. It'd be a thing for me, but I've been married with mine almost 20 years, so it's clearly working. So I just stay in the corner with them conversations, like.
Right. Okay. And Cindy Anderson, she said it's stress eating due to emotional trauma they are experiencing. Okay. Let's say you can't shoot a gun without a trigger. Okay. If somebody stress you out and it caused you to eat, the bottom line is up to you to say, look, am I going to let this individual cause me to get unhealthy? Or am I going to better myself and kick rocks with no socks with flip-flop? Kevin Carter said, in my prior marriage, our responsibilities was fluid based on health, employment, opportunities, children, etc. I like Kevin Carter. He's a very intellectual gentleman. Then we got Simone said that's where being a helpmate comes into play. Yeah, I think if the man see that he's stressing out, or he might not even see that he's stressing out, but if he see her eating, you ask her, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? If the house catch on fire, your ass gonna be a crispy critter because I ain't running back in there to get you. You know what I'm saying? So you need to, No, I'm not breaking my back and burn up too. No, I got a daughter to raise. If she overweight and I can't pick her up, she's gonna be a crispy critter. That's it, period. So I'm not getting involved.
Wow.
I'm not getting involved with nobody I can't pick up. Period.
No, but not saying that she's going to be big when you meet her. You could meet her, and then on down the line, she could be stressed out and start eating like that, and then get big. Then what? You going to just leave her like that?
Oh no. I'm gonna get her some help. And if she can't get no help, I'm gonna get Ozempic, Zepbound, and Wegovy, and all the semaglutides. You know what I'm saying? I want to save my wife. I don't want her to burn up in that fire. Sam, what do you think about that? What do you think about this 50-50?
I believe that both people should have put in 100%, period. If both people are dedicating their heart, their life to that relationship, putting in 100%, there's no issues. I think some of the issues that I see arise today is that I see some women, for example, that they want a traditional man, but they don't want to be a traditional woman. You know, and there's certain things to like standards. Like I remember a couple years back, and we was going around a circle talking to people, and the question was asked, well, what are you looking for in a man? That, you know, they asked a young lady, and the young lady was like, well, he got to be 6'4", he got to have at least a 6-pack, he got to make 6 figures, he got to do, like, she gave this whole list of qualifications, which nothing is wrong with that. But then me and the moderator looked, and the moderator said, "You're 5'1", but you want somebody 6'4".
Mhm.
You're not in the best of shape, but you want somebody with a six-pack.
Right.
You want somebody to make well over six figures, but you get government assistance and you don't have any kids. So like you have all these standards, which nothing is wrong. But the thing is, like, we have to be accountable for ourselves. Like, I know I'm not perfect. I know my wife might not be perfect in certain ways, but I think we look at each other as being like our yin and yang. That's why we've been together for a minute. And I think there's certain times to where like there's certain things traditionally I don't like for her to put gas in her car. Because I don't want her to be at a gas station and somebody come up and rob her. So
tell the machine neither.
And it's all about security for me, protecting her. So there's been times where she had come in and it might be 10. I'll hurry up and run out across the street, the sheets or whatever, and fill the car up. I'd rather me be in danger than her.
Right.
So I think we kind of like have a balance. Like, I just like chivalry. I like opening doors. I like to, if I invite somebody something, I'm going to pay. If they invite me, I'm prepared to pay, but, I'm going to see if they're going to pay,
Right.
So
Right.
It's just one of those things. I just think like expectations people need to be accountable for their expectations. You can't be oblivious to what you're looking for. Sometimes you have to compromise. Like, I tell folks like I may be a 4 or 5, but I'm the best thing on 4 or 5 walking around. Like I do what I'm supposed to do, to support. And the last thing, and I'll land with this, is that I tell anyone that's in a relationship that the first thing you should do is understand the needs of a man and understand the needs of a woman. A man is more about reason, like just overthinking everything, solving stuff. If my wife calls me and says my cell phone's not working, as a man, I'm going to call the cell. Hey, what do I need to get it back on? If I'm behind payments, let me know how much we solve things. But at the same time, women may just be venting. So I know my wife got on me a few times because she came and she was talking about something and I'm sitting here like trying to solve it. And she's like, you know what? I just want you to listen. Like, I'm venting. And we made that agreement that before you start dialogue with me, let me know if you're just venting or let me know, is this something I need to help you solve? So that way, if you're just venting, I could turn the switch off in my head just to make sure I'm an ear. I'm being supportive in that manner. So I just think it's about, communicating. And I think that's why a lot of these relationships are not working, because people will get in them. They'll be in a honeymoon phase and they just think, oh, he'll end up being like this, or she'll end up being like this, or as long as I do the right thing, they're going to do this, when they never communicate. They never talk finances. They never talk savings. They never talk where they see themselves 5 or 10 years from now. Everybody's in the moment, because a lot of people, as soon as they meet that person, they laying down with them. So it no longer turns about what your future is. It turns into what your body can do for me, or how your body can make me feel.
Yeah. And I'm coming to you next, Marlo, but Cindy Anderson, she just said teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, that's a cliche, but it's really real. It also makes the bank teller a jerk when they see all that money you put in there. Might even make a girl twerk. So yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying? So might make a girl twerk. I hear it, I didn't stutter.
Wow.
Okay, Sam. Simone said, okay, Sam, we see you. All right, then Kevin Carter said, same here, Sam.
We're taking a long time on this topic.
We are the prices protectors. What, you Russian or you American? All right.
I'm Russian.
Yeah, okay. What are your thoughts about 50-50?
Well, again, it's in a marriage, it's not 50-50. First of all, you're both supposed to be coming in, giving your all on both sides. And I think each time I grow, I went from 5-year relationship to 10-year marriage. And then my last relationship was 15 years. So each time I grow longer, and you try to understand people more, and you take your time. Like I like what Sam stated, that people are so quick to want to lay down with someone, and that's just not me. I'm very traditional when it comes to that. So when people approach me or they want to date and stuff, that's fine. We could date, but that's all we're doing. And people want to come and move in your home, and I'm just so far removed from the dating scene because of the false expectations, because of social media, what people are getting out, what negative things they are coming from social media, where they think that this is how a marriage should be. This is how a relationship would be, with me spending thousands of dollars on you to put you on the come up. You come to me with something to offer. I already have plenty to offer. I don't need you to come in to invade what I have already built, because I have built a lot. This is my sitting room. This is a half of my house.
Yeah, but you know what? Though? I think a real man. I think a real man don't want to come into a real man.
Right, a real man don't. But
a real man don't want
real
that.
Men are left out here, which is hard to decipher who's the real man or who's not the real man. So it takes a lot of time and effort on both parts. And like I said, before I got married, me and my husband discussed how things were going to be. We met with the minister, and everything was fine for a certain period of time. And just like Nevaeh said, sometimes things get emotionally abusive in relationships when the man maybe falls short and don't realize that you have their back, which I had his back, but he was just so far removed from reality and so hurt as to what place he was in society that sometimes that triggers a man to go in a negative way. If not that they want to, it's just that they have so much hurt and pain and failure that they're feeling inside that it's hard for you as one person to try to heal them. So sometimes you got to let them go. And that's what I did. Let it go.
That's a great topic. Great topic, Navi. I really appreciate that. I want to remind everybody, we see you viewing. We can see you viewing. I like to remind everybody, feel free. It don't cost nothing to like, subscribe, share, and give a thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm and helps us get more viewers to make comments and stuff. So give us a thumbs up, like, share, comment. And you know what? You can even join. If you put in the comments that you want to join the show, it's a strong possibility that the engineer can insert you into the show. Now, one last comment on this. Hey, look, I want to thank all the viewers that are commenting. We really appreciate it. Jordan Simmons says, societal roles have evolved, with many women now participating in the workforce rather than solely focusing on traditional homemaking. Okay, yeah, that's true. It changes things. Oh, then Sam Blues Jr. said, you know what? If someone says 50-50, they are not mentally ready for a true relationship. I agree. I don't want half a shit. Anyway, let's move right along. I want to pay tribute to another one of our sponsors. I don't think we did it yet. We're going to do Lit Sticks first, and then maybe, Okay, this is my winner there, Rashid Myers. He's a contributor to the show. He's a sponsor. He has collective wear and Lit Sticks. Lit Sticks is a premium blend of pre-rolled hemp, CBD, and THC A+. All right? Yeah. And you can place your order at LITTSTIXX.com. All right. And I'm quite sure Rashid Myers will take care of you. Moving right along. I believe this is hold on, this dude want to stay on that. So they may be just a conversation away. Yeah, basically all you gotta do is communicate and comprehend the communication. All right. Moving right along, our next topic is CJ's. We touched base on it last week about interracial. You know what, CJ? What you want to talk about today?
We're gonna touch on interracial relationships and everybody's thoughts about it. It's always a stigma, far as reasons why people date outside their race. So I don't know. What you guys' thoughts about interracial relationships?
I like to go first on that one. I mean, like this, y'all know how I feel about race. We all from the same race, the human race. So we all got white in our family. So if we all got this in our family, we basically all mutts. So how is it interracial if a black person that might have some white blood in them down the line deals with a white woman or a white man with a black woman? I had no problem with it. To each his own. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I prefer what are they calling themselves now? African American, black, Negro, what is it this year? What is it this decade? Every decade they change it from black, colored, to whatever. But anyway, I prefer that brown skin. I really do. But if I get enough damn trauma from that shit, I might go vanilla too. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no telling. It's all pink on the inside. What's your thoughts on that, Nabia?
I'm an interracial. I really don't care because it is what it is. My mother was interracial, so like she was a mixed person. But me personally, I prefer my chocolate men. I love chocolate, brown, light, as long as it ain't white. But YT, however you say it. But I just feel like that. The only thing that I don't like about it is that when black men go to the other side, they always have a reason. If you want to go to the other side, just go to the other side. You don't have to say, "Oh, put down the black women" just because you went to the other side. That's the only thing that bothers me is because they always have a reason of why they went to the other side. If you want to go to the other side, go ahead.
Right. I agree with that too because all black women ain't bad, all white women ain't bad. So yeah,
exactly.
You can't say I'd rather go white because the black women doing this black.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's stereotyping. Marlo, what's your thoughts on interracial dating?
Unfortunately, it's hard for me to talk about because my family is so mixed. Like I'll say my grandkids are I don't even want to say they're. I guess my question is, where does the line stop to define if they're biracial? Because like I said, my stepson is biracial. Then he was going with a biracial girl. Now they got these boys. So are they biracial? Just black kids with some mixture in it? I don't know. And I know my son, he's been going with this his girlfriend for like 5 years, and she's Mediterranean. And I will say I have humbled myself over the years because I was not for it at all, because where I grew up, we were all like a tight-knit Black and Puerto Rican environment. So that's what I was used to. And when I moved down here to the South, it was like, as soon as I stepped foot in Virginia, I was like, so Black people don't go with white people? It was like every Black guy I seen was with a white woman. And I'm like, is this what's going on down here in Virginia? But then it's like, I don't know if it was a trend during the early 2000s or not, but now I'm seeing more and more Black love, as they call it. But I don't have a problem with it. Again, like Nevaeh said, as long as you're not sitting up here putting down Black women for your own insecurities. I mean, just because you like someone else of a different race, that doesn't mean I'm less than that person at all. But I don't really have a issue with it. Long as they love each other and that's what they're doing together, but don't put me down in the process. That's where I have a problem with it.
Okie dokie. Well, before we go, Simone said this is a sensitive topic, especially in the Black community. Not too much conversation on intercultural relationships. Black Americans with Africans, Jamaicans. Intercultural, I can kind of respect that more than saying interracial, because we all damn mutts anyway. So I mean, we mixing races anyway. Been mixing races since Nimrod, since the
No,
Tower
that's
of
different.
Babel.
That's different, sir, with interracial and intercultural, because
That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I just said. I can understand. I can understand intercultural having to learn that differently. But like I said, race has been all mixed up since the Tower of Babel, if you believe in the Bible. So with Nimrod. But anyway, it's time to pay a bill. And Team Collective is getting ready to pay a bill with their collective wear. No, not that one. That's the events. We need to do the collective wear. I don't think we did that one. Oh, that's right. We had to pull it down for copyright infringement. Okay, yeah, say less. But anyway, we'll get to that last, Sam. I'll do all the events, upcoming events to invite people to at the end. Jordan Simmons said he has beautiful mixed grandchildren. Okay, well, that's cool. And no, that's true. All children deserve to know where they come from, and and what the race of their parents are. I was fortunate enough to know, my father's German and Puerto Rican, and my mom is Apache Indian and Black. So I hate saying that, Black, man, because whatever. She's other. Yeah, I'm like Denzel Washington, Idris Elba, Malik Yoba. I am not Black. All right.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. We can do that next week.
Yeah.
All right. I want to tell everybody we appreciate the likes, the subscribes, the shares, and please hit that thumbs up. That is so important. When you hit that thumbs up, that's so important. It helps us continue on and broaden our algorithm. Now, we're going to Mr. Samuel Blues. Hold on. No, let's touch base on, since he's not here. Travis wasn't able to make it. He had to work over. Let's touch base. Let's do Valerie. Mr. Engineer, do you have Valerie's clip handy, video clip? Because that was a hot topic this week, because my winner went off straight like that.
And this is why the 25th Amendment was written. The only responsible thing for James David Vance to do yesterday, when he saw Donald Trump's social media post at 8:03 a.m., was to call an emergency meeting of the cabinet at the vice president's residence at 9 a.m. And as soon as a majority of the cabinet arrived, asked for a vote to remove the powers of the presidency from Donald Trump. But J.D. Vance did nothing. No member of the cabinet did anything. No member of the cabinet resigned. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was so right to say to every member of the Trump cabinet who she knows in her statement, all of you are complicit. She is so right. They are the most cowardly cabinet members in history. They were chosen specifically for their cowardice and utter debased fealty to Donald Trump. Donald Trump made sure that every cabinet member he chose was incapable, through cowardice, of ever voting to remove him under the 25th Amendment, no matter what he did or said, even if he has gone insane. They are the most cowardly cabinet in history, in disgraced service to the most cowardly president in history, who today, in another burst of madness, actually said this.
I'm brave. We're all brave.
I'm brave. That would make Donald Trump the first brave Trump in recorded history. He certainly was not brave enough to go to war when he was of military age during the Vietnam War. No Trump has ever gone to war. Donald Trump's ancestors actually left Europe and came to the United States to evade military service. That's the Trump family tradition. And no one in Donald Trump's cabinet is brave. None of them. And this is why the 25th Amendment was written.
Now I see why Valerie picked that comment, because she hates Trump so much anyway. But anyway, it is something interesting. Now that I condone the way he delivered it, you know what? I do. And I was about to say that I didn't, but I do. I mean, he said what was on his mind. He is not fake. The man is real. Everybody has the right to say what they want to say, whether you like it or not. At least if he was my enemy, I would prefer to know that he's my enemy. I would like to associate with my enemies. Diana Yaba says, I work with a lot of people who have never worked in their life and still collect SSI. You're a little bit late, darling, but that's okay. We appreciate your comment, though. Yeah, I do too. I know some people the same way.
That's not the same as Social Security.
But we already tackled that right there.
Right.
I like the guy so much because you don't have to wonder. And now because he spoke his mind, he insane. You know, or he done went off the deep end, or he crashing out. He been like that. Mm-hmm. So what is everybody talking about? He been like that. That's why people voted for him. That's why they voted for him, because that's what we wanted. All right. Nabia, we want a real president. We want a man. This dude gonna say cowardly. He done said cowardly so many times that because he's conditioned, because he not brave enough to say what he really want to say. Okay, so he called another man coward. But anyway, Nabia, what's your take on what Trump said?
I couldn't really hear everything, but on top of that, Trump is a coward. I mean, you already know what I was going to say about Trump anyway. I feel like the war is irrelevant and we lost. I mean, we actually lost the war, but he's not going to admit that. But we lost it, and what did we benefit from it? Like Iran, they still won. They still didn't agree with nothing, and
what are you talking about?
I think it was pointless.
They're in a two. What are you talking about? You didn't see the news yesterday? They're in a 2-week ceasefire, so they're negotiating right as we speak.
Yeah, they negotiating. Y'all saying that they negotiating, but on top of that, Iran is not trying to give up nothing. So I mean, negotiate what? Because he had gave it like, oh, he was about to blow up the whole thing, and what happened? Nothing happened. Like everybody talking about the war was going to end within 11 days. It's still going on. Like to me, I feel like
there's no
Trump
war
is
going
just
on right now.
like,
There's no war going on right now.
Okay, well,
yes, it is.
Trump is not going to admit that he lost because he's a Gemini like me. So of course, they pride is going to take over, and he's not going to admit that he was wrong in this whole situation. And that's just what it was.
Okay, what exactly did he lose?
Everything. I mean, like y'all sit up here was talking about how Obama spent all of this money. He spent all this money on the war and everything, and nobody is not talking about that. Like what? Like he spent it on what? For what?
He spent money to take action.
And what action did he take though?
He blew their ass up. That dude got a Chinese name, one gone.
Okay, but they still didn't comply though. He still didn't get what he want or nothing like that. So what was the whole point? See, he still didn't get what he want.
I'll pay your gym fees for the whole next year. I guarantee he's gonna get what he want. I can guarantee that. Sam, what is that you showing us right now?
Yeah, showing something.
Basically, this is since February, where the price of oil per barrel has gone. And if you look at the very peak and then the drop off, that's when Iran agreed to not destroy or try to destroy ships going through the strait. So currently ships now are now going through the strait. And you also look at the numbers, and this is from this morning, it's down $18 a barrel. Now, when you look at the commodities of the other things that come from there, you look at crude oil, that's what's down $18 today. Brent is another mineral down $14 today. Natural gas is down, heating. And then when you go down to wheat, it's down 17 per metric ton. TTF gas, which is more liquefied, is down. So I think it's one of those things that when you ask how was things lost, like nobody can give a specific. Like I can say Iran lost because they no longer have a navy. They had one of the largest submarine fleets, and now they're down to zero. They have zero ships, no ships. So I can tell. So when I ask somebody like, okay, you saying we lost to Iran, what did we lose?
Right, that's what I want to know.
Ships going through the strait, which was the sole purpose of that. So what did we lose?
We gained a
We
lot
didn't
of
gain
points.
nothing.
Specifically.
We didn't gain nothing though. We
You
didn't gain
didn't see
nothing.
that-
What I'm
you-
trying
no,
to say
you
is that
said-
y'all
hold-
fighting a
hold on.
war
You
that
said-
really does not even
One
really
mic,
matter.
one
because-
mic, one
You
mic,
just-
one mic.
You just said that we lost,
Yeah.
that Iran won. I
Yes.
asked you for one reason. Why did we lose? What is your measurement of why we lost? One thing.
Okay.
What?
Because for
One
one,
thing.
for one, we was paying high prices in gas, right? For something that was already belonging to Iran, right? And then you fight in a war that he tried to like compromise, and we still like, oh, okay, even if Iran like agreed to what was going on, we still lost because we still we came out our pocket giving them money for what? Or we spending all of this money for what? What did we spend all of them billions of dollars for? For what?
Right.
Like, what was the reason? What was the reason? So we lost by all of that. That money could have been distributed to all of the other stuff that America needed, like Medicaid and all of that. People saying all of that, I don't need it. But on top of that, there's people out there that do need it. And he did all of this war and spent all of this money on that. And he could have been spending that on something that the US really needed when he still didn't make no type of nothing off of this war. What did he gain
What-
from this? What did he gain?
Didn't you just see the chart? Didn't you just see the chart? Didn't you
I
just
mean,
see
you
the
saying
chart?
a chart, like, but still, like, okay, that chart, okay, yeah, one little chart. I mean, I don't.
One little
I don't-
chart,
okay,
that's
so-
everything.
Okay, so let me
Okay.
ask you this, because instead of giving a specific, you went and named a lot of things that really aren't taken into account. Now, the war that the U.S. helped Europe with, they gave over $188 billion to Ukraine. And they're not even a member of NATO. They're not even an ally. But we gave them $188 billion, and there ain't no energy at that. Well, when all these other countries are now saying, okay, now we're starting to hurt because the oil coming out of that place, coming through that strait, it don't affect the U.S.
It's for Europe.
It will. No, it affects Asia, like China, Pakistan, India. That's the reason why China and Pakistan is the one that was starting to get Iran to negotiate and finally open the strait yesterday.
No, the strait is
Because
not
they're
open.
losing their. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the live on WION, and ships are going through. So
I see the ships moving. I see the ships moving.
reflection,
I'm
the
gonna
reflection is right here. If
I'm
no
gonna
ships were
interject.
going through, we wouldn't see that drop right there.
11 hours ago. So what has happened is certain ships, a very small number of ships are
It don't
getting
matter.
through the
You know how
strait.
much oil one ship carries?
Barry,
Yes, but it's not
You're talking
fully
about
open.
500 million
So that's
barrels of oil.
misinformation. That's
500
misinformation.
million.
But that's misinformation that the strait is not fully open. Donald Trump
So no
has
ships are
not-
going through it.
small number.
Hold on.
Ships.
It's either they're going through it.
No, it's not either they're going through it or
just
not.
little
It's
ships.
not. It's not a
You know
yes
how
or no
big a tanker
answer.
is.
It's not a yes or no answer.
Okay. If one ship is going through because of Trump's threat, is that
That's
good?
not because of Trump's threat.
Okay.
Y'all getting the misinformation. They don't.
Right.
Iran's not scared of Trump's idle threats. You're the idle threats before
They opened that straight though, didn't they? They opened.
You do idle threats.
She's right.
That didn't work.
Right.
It was because of the pressures from the other countries that they decided to try and do the ceasefire, to have some of the ships with permissions to go through that strait. It is not fully open. It's
Okay,
open
but who instigated that stress from the other countries?
Oh, China, India, Russia.
No. I'm talking about.
What stress? It would not have been closed if it wasn't for the U.S.
Okay. All right.
Can I just say one rebuttal to that?
Yeah. Go ahead. One mic, Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
So Marlo, so basically what you're saying, coming through the strait, if only one ship is going through the strait at a time versus 2 or 3
or 4 or 5
or 5 or 6, you would consider that a win?
No, I will not. What? Are you saying it's a win for
what
the
is your
US?
measurement? What I'm saying is earlier you said only a few. That's misinformation. And I said, well, if ships are traveling through it, that means it's open. So you're saying no, only a little bit. So what I'm asking you is,
how can it be open
as a little bit? Is that one ship at a time?
It says it's not fully open right now.
If ships are going through it, it's open.
It's not fully open, Sam. So
what do you define as fully open?
Yeah, what do you that he's asking you? What do you define as fully open?
Well, fully open, that means every single country, every single shipment can move effectively through that particular strait at any given time without it being. So right now, Iran is controlling who's going to move the hell through that strait.
Okay, but is the
U.S.
strait
not controlling anything?
Iran
is controlling who's moving through that strait.
Is the strait open, Marlo?
No, it's not fully open.
I didn't say fully open. I said, is it open?
Her answer is her answer. It's not fully open. She said
I didn't say fully. I said, is it open at all?
Not fully open. So I can't say yes, it's open because it's not open. It states not fully open. So when something's not fully
open, is it open a little bit? No, is it open a little bit?
That's what she said.
Okay, all right, then it's open. All right. CJ, what's your Lord help me, Jesus. CJ, what's your thoughts on Trump's behavior?
I didn't answer that yet.
I thought you did. Well, go ahead.
No, I didn't answer about.
All right, briefly, and I mean briefly. Go ahead.
Well, again, I agree with that gentleman's commentary that Trump has hired his cabinet. They didn't move because most of them that I written down are they loyalists or they're politically inexperienced. And the 25th Amendment, unfortunately, is not a magic wand that you can wave when someone says something ignorant or offensive to someone to have them removed from their position, but so many other things that this man has contributed for the downfall of the U.S., specifically initiating this epic theory operation that he doesn't want to call war because he didn't even get it approved through Congress. He can't call it a war.
He don't have to. He don't have to.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
and see, this is the mentality of people that's following him that they don't realize what the Constitution is.
You know what? And you know what's so sad that as soon as we bring, what's so sad is as soon as we bring up past presidents who did the same thing, then he's not president now. But he did it.
What are we talking about here?
What are we talking about now?
This guy here.
He doesn't have to. The simple fact that he did it proves that he don't have to contact Congress.
It's called his Article 2 war powers.
That's it.
No,
Along
he's just
with
breaking the
Article
law,
one,
and that's
Article
what it
1
is.
He's
and
breaking the
Article
law.
2
No,
of the
no, that
He's
Article 2
definitely
is a law.
breaking the law.
That is a law. Article 2 is a law, Nabia. So what are you talking about? It's a law saying that he can do it.
Okay.
It's a law saying that he can do it. Article 2. All right.
Okay. and
Now,
That's
now,
what you said.
CJ, what are your thoughts on Trump saying, what did he say about something about wiping out civilization? Yeah, and then the woe is we, so-called woke folk, they turned it around and said that he was going to nuke the country. He didn't say nothing about nuking no country. He just said he was going to end civilization. All right.
What does wiping out civilization?
Their infrastructure. Their infrastructure. He was talking about their infrastructure, strategically attacking their infrastructure. All right, what do we got right here, Sam? And then we got to let CJ reply.
This is the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, solidifying that the president does not have to go through Congress.
All right,
Madam Speaker, Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Thank you both.
Thank you all very much.
All right. Plain and simple. You do not have to
Yes, you do.
consult with.
But it's been going through like that. Everybody, like every president was like, "Oh, you got to go through Congress and all of that."
Oh,
Now,
no,
to get to
really?
Trump is not like that.
Oh, really? Really?
Yes, it was always
Okay.
that.
Did Obama consult with Congress when he hit Libya and Turkey?
Excuse me.
Hold on. I'm asking Navia questions.
Yes.
I don't know that. You asking me something
I
I don't
just
know
so how
about, so
can
I
you
can't agree.
say that? How can you
So
say
I
that?
so I
every
just
other
know that a
president-
lot, like during the political thing, they always had said that you had to go through Congress
You
and all
do.
of that. So that's why I'm saying that. I'm
But
not talking about the Obama thing. I'm just
so
saying
many
the Congress.
presidents, so many presidents have not consulted
You
with
have
Congress
to go through Congress to declare war.
to declare
Or,
war.
or if you're doing
you can
an
talk and say
assault, unless you're doing an assault on the country, like Obama did 7 times, he
How would
had
he
to
do
go.
something 7 times when he inherited all the
Could I
wars,
finish?
Sam?
Could I finish, please?
Because y'all doing
The
false
one time that Obama did have to go through Congress was when it took over 7 months for what he was doing. So he had to go to Congress to get more money for that, which he was able to get. It was bipartisan. So he did gain support from both sides to extend it past that. When you have like what's going on now, just like they're projecting that, okay, we might need $200 billion more if we're going to keep going. Congress does have to approve that. If Congress don't, they got to reallocate the money from the budget, from somewhere with the Department of Defense. No, with funds.
No, they have their own budget. They have their own
If they want to
budget.
come through us, they go through Congress. It's through taxation. That's why they go through Congress.
Okay. Now, with that being said, it's just like double standards. It's just I've known several presidents who did exactly what Trump did. Wasn't no fuss, wasn't no rigmarole. But getting back to CJ, what are your thoughts about Trump saying what he said about Iran and making the threat?
That was wild. That was just outright distasteful. It was just like, you can have your thoughts and it's okay, right? Somebody can admire you because you're transparent, whether you have tact with it or not. But you have to be aware of, like, you have to know how to read a room. Like, I don't think he knows how to read a room. So like that whole tweet. When I read that tweet, I thought it was fake. I'm not gonna lie, and then I really had to go on his Twitter like that.
Yeah, he got balls. He got a set of balls out for real.
Yeah,
and he's a man. He a man of action. He don't care what you think. That's what I like about him. He don't care what you think about him. He's gonna do what's best for the United States.
For him,
But the thing is,
for him,
he has
for him.
He's not.
That's it's given, we gave like the disabled kid in the
Somebody said
class
idiot.
the big red shiny button, and we shouldn't have given him that big red shiny button because he's so
Exactly.
press that
Mhm.
button that he's willing to destroy everything to prove a point.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, he's an idiot. I'm not.
Exactly.
He is.
I'm
You got the
sorry.
guy, but people keep getting the Article 2 confused with saying that he can initiate a war. No, he has control of the military, so he could give the military a directive to do something. But Article 1 does state that war has to be initiated by Congress. But all in all, a
That's what he
president
just said.
let me know that ain't. And what I
Declare
was stating
war.
is no, he can go ahead and initiate a war, a president, because a lot of times they do it first and go back for approval. And when you guys keep bringing
No,
up
they
Libya and Obama,
Your
he
friend,
got criticized. Wait a minute, he got criticized, and also he was backed by NATO. So that is a huge difference. When he went into Libya to do what he needed to do, he was backed by the UN and NATO. Trump is not backed by anyone. Trump is running like a free bird in some smog air.
no, he don't. He's not a man. He's not. He don't need. He don't need nobody. He don't need no to get permission. He don't need. He don't need to get permission. He's not.
So that means he's abusing his power because
He's
you
not
feel
a.
like he
He's
don't
not a
need nobody.
weakling. He's not a weakling. He's not a weakling. The country
So
does
then why
not
he's
want
asking for
a
help?
weakling.
He
Do y'all
shouldn't
know
want no help
why?
after he done got himself into some stuff and then he want to ask for help and all of that stuff like that. He shouldn't even ask for help if he's not a weakling.
Do y'all know why? Do y'all know why Obama
Here we
did
go.
those strikes on Libya?
No, let's talk
Do y'all
about
know the
why
reason
Trump
why?
is bothering Iran.
Exactly. Like what? Yeah, really.
get
Yeah, that's
any-
what we need to talk about.
He didn't get any.
Let's talk about
approval
Okay, look.
from
Okay.
Congress.
All right. One mic. Marlo. If I threaten you for 47 years, said death to your family, you gonna wait another 47 years?
Is somebody saying death to us?
Yeah. Now, if somebody saying death to you and your family,
We ain't got nothing to do with Israel.
I'm
and
not
Iran.
talking about that. Listen. You always try to move the goalposts. I'm asking you a simple question. If I threaten your family for 47 years, no, for 47 hours, what you gonna do? You gonna handle it, or you gonna sit back and wait for me to get your ass?
I'm gonna wait and see if you big and bad enough to come and threaten my family. Because
See, that's what I say. That.
But
And guess what?
47 years, if he did it for 47 years, that's a long time. So that means that he's calling, you got to call him bluff.
Right.
Call his bluff. Like what,
ain't worried
47 years? Come on now.
Yeah,
Like, that's a
that
long
man,
time.
that man been threatening us for 47 years, and Trump.
That's a
ended-
long time
Trump
to
ended
sit
the
up here
war.
and try to do it now.
No,
because it's a
he
long
hasn't
time. He
been-
still ain't do it.
Have you ever heard of something called the Oklahoma City bombing?
Yes.
Or the barracks bombing of Beirut,
Yes.
where those 250 Marines got killed?
Mhm.
What about Abbey when those 13, when the U.S. was leaving Afghanistan, when the suicide bomber took them out?
Are
Do you
they
know- is-
threatening a suicide bomber over here now? Have they knocked down anything?
You don't know what happened in San Antonio when the guy opened fire?
Right.
I guess you missed all that news.
Okay,
if
so
you're
then
not
I
on
just want to
CNN.
clear up something. Could I say something real quick? If we gonna go to war for what we don't know what we going to war for, then Trump's son should be in it too. And like all of the people, like if you want to send our family to war, send they asses to war too, because we all need to be going to war. If we fighting for what he want, he should have his family in there too, right? Because that's what it is, real soldiers, right? So he should send his son or whoever else could fight and his family to war. Why I got to be all our family fighting for a war that we don't want to fight, and his family just sitting on money chilling like. They just
Mercy
the kings
killing,
and queens.
Well, hold on, 1 second. One mic, y'all. One mic. Nabia. Every soldier that went in the military volunteered for this shit.
No, but they trying to set. No, they trying to draft people though. Why they ain't drafting?
we getting
Trump's
to that
son?
too.
They trying to draft people though.
We're getting that. We're getting to that too. We're getting to that too. All right.
Okay.
So, CJ, what do you say? You said that, yeah, with the way he said it, the way he delivered it was totally incorrect, correct?
Yeah, that was foul.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was distasteful. I'm sorry.
I'm kind of teetering on that, but then I also got, I'm also teetering on the fact that he speak his mind. He's definitely not fake. And if you don't like it, kick rocks with no socks and flip flops. Moving right along. Let's go to Sam's topic, and I think Sam's topic is the draft. Am I correct, Sam?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Let's start talking about the possibility of the U.S. draft coming back. So the U.S. military will automatically register eligible men for the selective service draft system a bit later this year. Previously, the onus was on the men to register themselves. So that's going to definitely impact families of young men. Think late teens, early 20s, and beyond. So if you're curious, what is the selective service system? It's the military draft, and it was established back in 1917 by President Woodrow Wilson after the U.S. entered World War I. So that puts some things into perspective for you as to where this stands. And if we're calling this back, it must mean this is some serious stuff to our government. Under federal law, most men between 18 and 25 are required to register with the selective service system in case Congress and the president authorize a military draft. So right now, though, they have to self-register within 30 days of their 18th birthday, but they're allowed to register late without penalty until they turn 26. So that's been the sort of workaround here, if you think about it that way. Failure to register is considered a crime that could disqualify you from student loans, most federal jobs, and U.S. citizenship for immigrants, Stars and Stripes reports. So when you think of the phrase draft dodger, it comes from this. Women are still exempt from registering, though. A new rule passed by Congress just last year will automatically register those eligible men in the system, which transfers responsibility for registration from individual men to SSS through integration of federal data sources. This is, again, all coming from the SSS website. So here's the big picture. Draft registration has declined in recent years. And don't just take my word from it. It's coming from the Military Times that monitors this especially closely. And they say that it's in part because federal student loan forms removed the option to register back in 2022. So if you're curious as to when the military draft will become automatic, here's a look at the timeline. According to the selective service system, it's hard to say, try it 10 times fast. Automatic registration will be in place by December of this year.
You know, I want to say that I think it's a good idea, but I think they should target gang members.
Right.
I think they should target prisoners that are not, that hasn't, like murder, major crimes, people like that's on their way out, or to give them some kind of stability, because the chances of a soldier nowadays getting wounded is slim to none. We've been over there I've been over there a long time. 13, I'm not gonna say only 13 service members, but 13 service members wounded, lost their lives. We signed up for that. Okay. We took an oath for that. Mm-hmm. Do I feel sorry for their families? Yes. But their families have to realize that their son took an oath for that, to do that, to die for this country. So with that being said, I think they should target gang members and try to turn these people's lives around, because right now you stand a better chance of losing your life in these streets versus in the military. And then when you get out the military, you get all these benefits and everything. So there's a war here. There's a war here in the United States that nobody talks about, but they're so worried about another country. But the war here, we lose more in a day than we lost the whole time we've been over there. Your thoughts, Navi? I see you over there twitching.
Because I was looking like, okay, they lock up black people for no reason. So you saying, people that's been incarcerated,
They lock up white people for no reason.
But
too.
all
They
of these
lock up
white tea people that's getting away with murder and all of that stuff like that because of their color or their rank or their whatever, they're not getting locked up, or they getting a slap on the wrist. So what about them as well? You sitting up here talking about incarcerated people, but majority is our people. Like, no, why would we fight for something that he started? It should be him putting his peoples in front line too. If he feel like we fighting for a reason, then he should be having his family or his son or whoever else could fight in showing that war as well. So if you're gonna put
Okay.
incarcerated people in there, you should
Yeah.
be putting them in there as well.
Okay. And I don't know about how you know how royalty works. Royalty are exempt from war anyway. Okay. So that's
BS. That's BS.
That's why they're called royal. Okay, they're exempt from war. But
Well,
with the
I'm
modern,
royal too.
with the modern, you would say what?
I'm royal too. If you want to put it like that, everybody should feel like they royal.
hold on.
Like,
Who
well,
you-
they up there. Like, so you
Sergio, who are
can't
you
go by
talking
that.
about is royal?
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying Baron is royal, but I'm saying that like in other countries, royalty.
But you can't start a war,
It's like
draft
Obama.
people that don't have nothing to do with it, incarcerated
Who's
people
getting
and all of that,
drafted?
and just say, oh, because the royal people can't be a part of it. That's crazy to me.
Who's
Like,
getting
no,
drafted?
no.
Who's being drafted though? Anyway, that's not
No,
even.
they
in
saying that
the
they drafting people that's 18 and you got up to 26. So basically, and you
Could I?
said something about incarcerated people that they should do that. And I'm just rebuttaling on that part. I'm feeling like that is the wrong way to go because that should not be the way. It should be anybody that feel like if you feeling like this war is right or anything like that, then go fight for it. Because I don't feel like it is. So I'm not fighting for it, and I wouldn't want my family to fight for it. Period. Like that's just what it is.
If I could do it again, I'd do it again right now because I'm fighting for my daughter for real, straight like that.
Can
All
I?
right.
Speak
Go
on
ahead,
my-
Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
This is the thing, and most women don't know this because they've never had to go through what all men in the U.S. have to go through. When you go to the driver license office and you renew your driver license or you get issued a driver license, they ask all men or all males, are you ready to register for selective service? And there's two buttons on their screen, yes and no. If you tell that driver license examiner no, guess what? The system will not proceed. So when you put yes, it will proceed. It's always been a requirement for men to register for selective service. Under the current system, I think that happened in like 1980. It changed from like 18 to 45 to 18 to 25. But even if I go into the DMV to get a duplicate or something tomorrow, they're still going to ask me if I want to register for selective service. And I normally do because I already had a whole career of it. But the thing is like men prior had been required to they were allowed to self do it. So let's say my son, for example, let's say he was 24 years old. And if they found out that he didn't register for selective service, that's a federal felony. He can get 5 years in prison and fined $250,000 for failing to register for selective service. What's happening now with it just being automatic? Nothing is changing. It's just automatic now. When somebody turns 18, it's automatic. They have your social security number. They have all this information. So you get your notice in the mail to make sure that you're registered. Or now you just go to the website, the Selective Service System website, and you register right there. So
now that's straddling gaslighting. I
But-
have to interrupt you, but I have to highlight that, right? Because we're fully aware of why it's a concern. Now, you don't have to be a female or a woman or whatever to know that that was an option. Like you have brothers, siblings, whatever, any man that you know that went for their driver's license, that's an option. That's a no-brainer. I think the issue is with downplaying it as if we don't know why they're doing the automatic draft, which is ultimately not giving people the choice to want to go fight for a war. That's the issue. So it's gaslighting us when we're bringing it to your attention. Then you say, well, that's been a thing. And yeah, you're right. But you also have to identify and recognize why they're stripping our men the ability to choose to fight for that war. So I get your point of view, but
okay.
But what you're saying, if we use your argument that you made, then no men have had a choice since 1940. You don't have a choice. But if you get caught and you choose not to, it's 5 years in federal prison. It's a felony. You lose all Medicare, Social Security. You lose all of that stuff. And if you came here as an immigrant and became naturalized, you become denaturalized. If we use your argument, this has been the case since 1940. So how come all the women of these brothers, sons, and stuff haven't been talking about it since 1940?
It's not all the women. It's because we're fully aware, because it's people in general. It's not just women. I think that's another thing.
Well, you specified, because I said that they're not required. So I'm assuming that they don't know about it fully.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, it's been the same way since 1940. So where was your energy when you was born in the 80s or the 90s? I'm not sure, were you an 80s baby, 90s? So the thing is, where was your energy then?
So
go ahead,
just because of Trump, everybody upset.
Go ahead, CJ.
So I think, just as you mentioned, you stated if you got caught, I think because the chain of events that's also happening is shaking people up. You got to understand, a lot of people weren't even, just as you mentioned, fully educated on it, and now that they are, and everybody's being shocked with information, like it's coming from different places, and the trajectory that we're going far as this war, whether we like to admit it or not, it's scary. That's it. So I think because a lot of people have a hard time actually articulating their actual concern, because they're being shocked with so much information, that you got to respect people's thought process. So anybody that's on your caliber, that's fully educated, that's fully aware, of course you're going to expect for them to handle things a certain way, but you have to understand, we're shocking people with this information. It's tough to expect for them to register things how you register things. So I don't know. It's scary, so I can see why it's a concern.
I'm like this too, though. Is it okay to sit here in this country and parlay and enjoy the freedoms of this country, but not go fight for that freedom? That speaks volumes right there.
Oh, could I say one quick thing about Barron Trump? What is going to keep Barron Trump out of being drafted?
He's autistic.
He's a college student.
So all our kids need to go to college then.
Exactly. Hey.
But that should have been the case anyway.
I'm just saying, some people don't want to go to college. Some people want to just graduate and do what they do.
Well, that's the price you pay, because Donald Trump received 4 student deferments because he was in college. And then he finally, I guess, the bone spur thing. So that basically eliminated it because he had already graduated from college. Bill Clinton received 7 deferments because he was attending Georgetown and Oxford. So that's the key right there. Joe Biden received 5 draft deferments, but then he eventually got a medical because he had asthma, even though he was a star high school wide receiver in high school. So the thing is, it's a tool that's available when you're in college that people take advantage of. Don't hate on it. Encourage your young men to go to college.
Or encourage them to say that they got asthma, right? Or say that they got asthma, because asthma.
No, that has to be proven. That's a process. Okay, I do want to say this, wrapping that up. We got everybody's opinion on it. Okay, I want to say, if you're comfortable with parlaying and reaping the benefits of freedom on the behalf of other soldiers, Why not take your ass over there too?
Well, I'm
But
not
we
gonna
fighting
spend
for
my
what
own
though?
time.
You got to be fighting for a reason. You fighting for a Trump reason, not our reason.
Yeah.
I don't think
And if
see
you don't
a
have a
reason.
child in that situation or in that age group where they could be drafted and their life taken from you, you really can't speak on it at all. And last week you said you didn't even vote.
No, I don't vote. I choose God. God, my president.
So what is the
God, my
argument
president.
that you got then?
The argument that I got is
You don't have any.
so you saying if I don't vote, then I don't have a right to speak?
No, hell no.
Why not? Why not?
You didn't
Yeah.
We don't vote.
Why not? Hold on. No. We running out of time, but we're gonna address that next week. We're gonna address that next week for real. All right, then. All right, did Jesus Christ vote for anybody in power?
What?
Yeah. Did Jesus Christ
people
vote?
voted against him. That's why they nailed
Did
him.
Jesus Christ answer the question? Did Jesus Christ vote?
They
for
didn't
any-
have
All right, then.
democracy back
But
then.
you're a Christian, and Christian means Christ-like. No, I ain't voting. I ain't gonna insult God like that and tell him I'm putting faith in a man other than him.
Okay.
All right, now let's move it right along. I want to thank all our people that chimed in, clipped in, mix extensions. Appreciate you. Good evening to you also, Julian, Capo, Simone, Kevin Carter. By the way, Kevin Carter said you were wrong, Marlo. She said that Trump does not have to get permission. But that's way down. We don't tackle that already. But anyway, yeah, I want to thank all you guys. And it was somebody else. I think it was Sam Blue Jr. And it was quite a few. And Diana, we appreciate y'all comments. All right. With that being said, I'm going to give you guys a list of the events coming up. So for the viewers, the local viewers, if you don't mind running them so I can explain each and every single one of them, Sam, please. Okay, this one is my winner, DJ Moschino's birthday, 50th birthday. And everybody, they know who DJ Cut is, and Moschino having a birthday party at the venue. Shout out to Ron T. Thomas and Raheem McCoy and 7 Production and DJ Moschino. Happy birthday. Next event. Yeah, that's right. Me and my partner. That's right. Me and my partner got my twin coming tomorrow at Ambiance Event Center. First the first flight, first the first soprano fly. Appreciate you, brother, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Jim Jones at Ambiance Event Center.
Okay.
And then on Sunday we got Sunday Fun Day. That's gonna be every Sunday at Loop. It's gonna be a day party. Part of the place, half of the place is outside, and the other half is indoors. And shout out to Sonia Turner from Sunny Days Presents. And I told you I would mention you guys, and I am next. That's April 12th. And then on April 18th, our sponsor and myself, we're having a We Don't Wait, We Create networking mixer. That's it right there. If you want to get fed and get your mouth full like that, but that person not a human down at the bottom, come on out, man, and make some connections for real networking. And then at the same time, on the other side of the facility, we're gonna have we're gonna try to keep it discreet, for some people that don't smoke. So we're gonna have a 420. Did I send you that? I think I did, Sam. The next flyer is the 420 event. And this is April 18th. And it's in Raleigh, North Carolina. So Marlo, you need to come on down.
In May when y'all have something. That's my baby's birthday.
Okay, all right, in May too. All right. Is that all of the events, Sam?
Oh, hold on. Here we are.
Yeah, all right. Okay, that's the 420 in spring. That's the same day as the We Don't Wait, We Create mixer. It's in the same facility, same time, 3 to 5, April 18th. All right. And then finally on April 18th, we have my annual, me and my partners, 7 Production, have the Fade to Black affair at the Durham Hilton. This year it's at the Durham Hilton. Last year was at Raleigh Hilton. And we have two of them. We have one in September. But April 18th, you know, y'all come on out. Tomorrow, come check out Jim Jones. Saturday, go see GJ Moschino turn 50. All right, with that being said, this has been a great show. I appreciate everybody's input. Like I said, we really appreciate the comments, guys. If I wasn't able to address them, apologize 100%. But until the next episode, peace, love, peace, and hair grease. And enjoyed you guys.
All right.